Hey, this is just another story. I don't know if I ever shared this particular story. I know that I shared a story about an identity that I met online in Lagos, Nigeria, and it took me 2 years using a phone, um, which is just data, holographic text that you see somebody behind a keyboard, right, keying it in. And so what that means is anything that I key in using the language of the codes of that language, artificial intelligence can duplicate it, right? So in other words, I could write a letter to you, it could duplicate that letter and then generate an identity and then send you the same letter or another girl the same letter or another boy the same letter. And how are you going to know the difference when you have something that can communicate that but doesn't have any feelings and doesn't have any essence? Because it's not an eternal spirit experiencing eternal fire, cosmic fire. So I shared a story with another beautiful spirit up in Lake Huron, a native spirit, about an experience that I had with a lady who was in the California Department of Corrections, and her name was Christina Gonzalez. One day I woke up out of the clear blue sky and decided that I was going to go online to the California Department of Corrections, where inmates will put their photo up there and give you sort of a short bio of how they got there. They can say whatever they want about themselves. Okay, the purpose for which is like being a pen mate, right? I write to you and then they write back to us, establishing some friendships, people on the outside, right? And so I saw this lady named Christina Gonzalez. She said she had a heart of gold. And she was of Cuban and Mexican descent. So I already know she's got some tribe in her. Okay, native spirit, tribal, trion field, trion matrices. And so one morning I pulled out a blank binder, with the blank white pages, the ones with the lines on it, and I just opened my heart. And I just started writing, and I kept writing, and I kept writing, and I kept writing, and I kept writing. Just let it flow. Just let it flow. Just let it naturally flow, like the crystal flow, the silver and gold mated flow. Just let all that love just pour right out. And whatever comes, just let it naturally comes, which means I don't have to think about it. It's what I feel, which is how deeply I feel, which is eternal, absolute pure love. Now I'm sharing all that love, which is energy, which transcends all space and time. And just put that energy in those words on that paper, page after page after page after page after page after page. And I wrote it for 2 days. Naturally, there was times when I just had to stop because my hand was getting cramped up from just writing that much. So I was writing her a love letter, a real one. What it feels like to share what I experienced in my heart, I was sharing with another heart who's in a prison, in a cage. And the background on her, without giving all of it, she was abused. And abuse as a child leads to self-abuse as an adult. Okay? And so by the time I was done, it was 126 pages after 2 days. So I went to the post office in Reno, Nevada, shot it off to the California Department of Corrections. I believe it was Folsom. So I believe it was Folsom. I think that's where it was. I know she was moved between a couple of different prisons. The prison complex, the R complex, the RH complex, complex number space, minus I to the I, the first I, the eternal I, the permanent records. And so about a week and a half later, I got a letter back. And guess what she said? She said, I get a lot of letters all the time, okay, about sexual procreation, energetic vampires. And she said, yours was the only letter that I kept. All the rest I just threw in the trash. she was feeling in her heart what I was feeling in my heart every time I completed a circuit, which is called an eternal moment, which is divine right mathematical firing order of divine right mathematical sequences, a divine right timing of what I breathe, which is what love is. And so that energy transcends all space and time. She felt in her heart when she touched those pages and read those pages, she was feeling in her what I was feeling in me at the moment that I was experiencing those. The energy that was flowing, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. That's what now time is. There isn't any time. There's only what love is. So when I knew that at 4 years of age, that's what I communicated. The essence of my spirit. She was feeling that energy. She was feeling that energy. She was holding that energy in her hands, with both her hands, completing the circuit. At the moment I was completing the circuits in me, what I was sharing with her, which was pure, which is pure love, pure spirit, cosmic fire. She was experiencing cosmic fire in her heart. That opened her heart. Now that her heart has been open, she wants to establish an open heart-to-heart conversation. Because now she realizes I can have an intimate relationship with you because I trust the energy that you are, because I felt the energy that you are, because I felt the energy, which is what love is in me, I was experiencing at you when you wrote that letter. That's a true love letter. That's what love is. Fire letters. They experience the fire letters of the eternal silver and gold mated core, the crystal core. That's who we are. Yeah. And so that's how they know you, by what we feel. We're not data driven. You can put together any data driven system that you want, but it's what we feel that counts. Like the counts, the cycles that count, the radioactive cycles that count. There is no time. The numbers game, the money game. Holding numbers captive, holding energy captive, holding units of energy captive that want to be free to play music. The eternal love song of an eternal sun, the silver and gold mated one, the still point of a true vacuum. I hope you all are doing well. All the love, that's how it works, right? Because all those love letters that I was living in with my spirit were being written to Mama, the great living oversoul spirit of Inner Eartha, Mother Eartha. That's right. Mama knows that. All the love letters that I wrote that represents my record were all for her. So that love letter that I wrote to Christina Gonzalez was a love letter that was being shared with the great living oversoul spirit of Mother Eartha. Because there isn't any separation between what I am, what you are, I'm giving love to. And that's what it means to be one, which is equally sharing pure, eternal, absolute love. So healing me is healing you. So when you're healing yourself from the inside, the inner child, the inner son, the inner core of your true identity, when you're healing yourself, then others are experiencing the healing within you, they're experiencing in them. And that raises their heart. The accretion level speed, the capacity level speed. So now their sensing capacity is rising. Now they're more sensitive. And when we're experiencing being more sensitive, electrically sensitive within our own cells, others are experiencing how sensitive we are towards them. Because now we're able to experience what they experience. That's how you know one from the other. Open the heart and soul of an eternal sun. Let it all in. Let it all in, which is let it all flow naturally, which is naturally gifting. We don't have to think about it. That's automatic. The pilot light. Burn a gas. the blue flame, the indigo flame, the indigo shield, burning pink, crystal core, burning pink. Ya, Mu Eva.